Sports Radio FS1. Urban Meyer 15 minutes and a segment that will offend some people, but it's time for America's honesty broker, me, to lay the gavel down. Joy Taylor, how are you this morning? Now, tomorrow night, Joy, NFL schedules get released.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
Excited for that.
I love that. I really do. I'm a nerd.
Well, you get to play win-loss, which is just the best game of the NFL offseason.
It's so good. You know what? I think, honestly, nerds are flourishing during this situation we're in.
Oh, yeah, this is a thriving time for nerds,
like
for
you,
sure.
all you cool people and lit people and social animals, it's tough. But I like to sit home and read and do wonky mock drafts. And my son and I laugh because my son's the same way. And he's like, yeah, no, I worry about people, but this is all good. And I'm like, yeah, I'm mostly just hanging out by myself.
You're living your best lives.
Yeah, there we go. So I was sitting here this morning thinking, I was reading a story. A couple days ago, Joy and I talked about this, that half of the top 10 picks teams didn't pick up their fifth-year option. And I thought, of course they didn't. It's the reality. And there are things in sports that one of the reasons I don't get mad, sports doesn't make me mad. And if you go to Twitter, it's just mad people all the time because you get mad based on expectations. You just have to be honest about stuff. I mean, if your parents are 5'2" and 5'3", you're not playing in the NBA. Just not going to. It's okay. It's just you're not going to be playing in the NBA. You can give me an outlier. It's just not going to happen. And so today, I thought I'd do a segment, the 5 truths in sports that I've been reminded of recently, and the segment's going to be called Don't At Me Bro. Okay? Don't at me, bro. I'm just being honest. I've been doing this 30 years. I've seen it. Don't at me, bro. Are you ready to go? Here we go. Number 1. The SEC's got better football players than everybody. Get over it. And so at the end of any college football season, when I have to make a decision on a one-loss team and an undefeated Big Ten, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC team, I'm going to almost always take the SEC team. They get better players out of high school, more first-round picks, more national titles. Look at their bowl records for the last 10 years. I don't even think it's the best coach sport. Sometimes I think Ed Orgeron won a national title. That's because LSU's got so many players. The reality is Ohio State is the only cold weather program in America that even looks like an SEC program. When you watch Ohio State play, their corners, their pass rushers, you're like, oh, that's an SEC football team. That doesn't mean that Pete Carroll's Trojans couldn't beat them or Dabo Swinney's Clemson Tigers can't. But let's just be honest. In the footprint of the South, they've got far more great high school football players, and the Urban Meyers and Brian Kelly have to go south. Those schools don't have to go north to get players. The SEC's better. They're going to be better this year, next year, and every year. Just own it. Don't at me, bro. Number 2, 75% of the players that your team drafted are not even going to be on the roster in 5 years. This whole league is designed. Best quarterback, best coach equals chance for a Super Bowl. And that everybody's going to lie about this, but 75% of the teams in the NFL have no chance to win the Super Bowl this year because you don't have a good enough coach and you don't have a good enough quarterback. I mean, you can eliminate 75% of the league. I was looking at a stat this morning where they were talking about of the 120 players between 2011 and 2016 draft classes that had their options exercised, and most don't. 40% of those players did not get a second deal with their original team. Your draft, this is why I don't give out draft grades. I give out off-season grades where I look at your coaching staff, your free agency, and your first 2 draft picks. I've had GMs who I respect tell me, by the 4th-round pick, you're crossing your fingers. You got no idea if they can play. And these are professionals. Number 3, most NBA star players don't want to live in the city they play. I'm sorry, Sacramento. I'm sorry, Detroit. I'm sorry, Milwaukee. I'm sorry, Cleveland. And I'm sorry, Indianapolis. If you were young, rich, and famous, where would you want to live? You want to live in Los Angeles or Miami? I'm sorry. Every time there's a free agent opportunity, these fans out east on the Eastern Seaboard, how many free agents want to play in Washington, Philadelphia, New York, Boston? If you don't engineer a trade, they never pick you because your weather's lousy and it's a winter league. The bottom line, October through March, it's cold everywhere. It's not in Phoenix, not in Los Angeles, not in Miami. Most NBA stars, they're not going to say it to be jerks. They're nice kids. They don't want to play in the cities they're playing in. It's a winter league. No thanks. Don't at me, bro. Number 4, hockey's never going to be that popular in the United States. It's lousy on TV. We don't bet it. 99% of people have never played it. It's Canada's sport. And let's be honest about it. It's expensive for young kids. So it eliminates a lot of people that just can't afford it. Plus, they've got morning skates, morning rink time. What dad wants to take their kids at 4:45 in the morning to hockey? A lot of dads can't. And a lot of people just can't afford it. And we don't play it when we're kids. And we don't watch it as adults. It doesn't mean I don't go to LA Kings games. But, I mean, the big 4 in American sports are NFL, baseball, NBA, and college football. And I would say over the next 5 years, the MLS is going to be over hockey. I'm sorry. You want to talk puck? Go for it. Don't at me, bro. It's never going to be that popular. It's Canada's sport. And finally, my bosses will be mad. The United States men's national team is never going to win a World Cup. We're not. We can compete. We can be fun. We couldn't make the last World Cup. And the way soccer works, because of our economics, they're dying for us to be in the World Cup. They want us to be in the World Cup. They give us opportunities to be in the World Cup. We got an easy bracket, and we still couldn't make the World Cup. It's U.S. soccer is political. It's dysfunctional. Just watch the games. It's like my SEC argument. Christian Pulisic came out at 18. I watched half of one match, and I'm like, he's so much better than the rest of our players. We just don't have enough now. Now, in 25 years, maybe it's different, but our best athletes don't play it. We can compete. We can win matches, but to win a World Cup, to win match after over Chile and Brazil and Argentina and England and Germany and Belgium and what? Winning a World Cup? I mean, I think if we had it on our soil and we were emotional and we were healthy and maybe we got a couple scheduling breaks where, you know, better teams lost players, you know, maybe we could get into a Final 8 or a Final 16. But I love the World Cup. I watch the World Cup. I'm totally into the World Cup, much more than the Olympics. I don't think we're ever going to win it. Does it? As I've said before, I can know the ending and still like a movie. Titanic, I know the ending. Seen it more than once, I'm okay. The ending doesn't even have to be good. I watched Usual Suspects the other night. I know the ending. I still watched it. I don't have to have a happy ending. I can know the ending. I can know we're not going to win a World Cup, and I still think we'll be competitive in some. It'll be fun. I watch it. I don't just watch it for Team USA. How's that? Don't at me, bro. There you go. That's pretty good. I really like that segment.
I thought it was very strong.
Very strong. By the way, I saw this was Scott Boros is in the New York Times this morning, had a commentary. We have to bring baseball back. He makes a very compelling argument. He says it happened after the attack on Pearl Harbor. 60 years later, post 9/11 it happened. Time and again, baseball has helped our country heal. Yes, we've lost nearly 70,000 people to COVID-19, a tragedy beyond words. A growing number of us have found ourselves unemployed and without warning. However, we face a challenge in the coming weeks and months. How do we harmonize the concerns of health experts with the unwanted effects of those public health efforts? In a recent study, 170 million people aged 12 or older identified themselves as baseball fans, the highest number in the past 25 years. The first step is to return the players to spring training-style camps as soon as possible. I do think it would really be damaging if baseball didn't have a season and went 18 months without the sport. I think the NBA can overcome that because the NBA tends to be star and personality driven, and stars always attract a lot of attention. Baseball is not a star-driven sport. It's a habit sport. You get up every morning and you read the box scores and you watch the highlights. You get into a habit in the summer and the early fall of watching baseball. When you get out of that habit, it's hard to bring people back. And I also think baseball has unique challenges. It's got a very strong players union. The players' union yesterday poo-pooed any idea of coming back. Quote, baseball union chief says players haven't gotten a formal proposal about restarting baseball. Baseball already has the richest players. They have the longest contracts. They make the most money. Some of them may feel somewhat bulletproof. What's the point? We don't like 160